Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Bonadie, and welcome to Peak Performance. These are teaching moments designed to inspire your success both at the workplace and at the marketplace of life. I believe you're going to be inspired and you're going to be helped. You know, one time the Lord Jesus was talking about the issues of building your building, which is your life. And he said that it's like building a house. And he said if you don't build it on a good foundation, your building will fall when it is tested. And of course, he's referring to your life. In that particular passage, he was referring to the things he was saying, and therefore, building accurately has to do with what you have in your mind. And so he talked in that passage in Luke chapter 6 about critical thinking. Now, we didn't use that word, but that's exactly what he was saying. So I want to talk to you a little bit about critical thinking. So a couple of things about that. Number one, critical thinking is not necessarily thinking bad about people. You know, when we talk about critical thinking, a lot of people think, well, you're going to criticize somebody, you got to say something terrible about some human being doing something. Well, that's not what the Lord Jesus was talking about, all right? But critical thinking is the discipline of thinking through a matter carefully. It's being cautious about your decisions. You've got to figure out all of the variables that surround that particular thing that you're doing. Also, critical thinking is predicting outcome. That is a very important concept when you are building, when you are conducting business, you are at the negotiations table. You are going to give something for something. You're going to hire someone. You got to have a sense of being able to predict outcome. You must be aware of benefits and you must be aware of consequences. A lot of times people don't think about the consequences for their actions. So critical thinking is you got to figure out what will happen if I do this? What is going to happen if I have this relationship with this co-worker? What is going to happen if I do not pay this invoice on time? Or if I take the goods and I don't pay the correct price for it? If I don't pay my taxes? What are the benefits and the consequences of my action? My friends, that is critical thinking. So Jesus taught this. He says, well, if a man is going out to war and he doesn't think through his ability to win the battle, to figure out if he has enough weapons or he has enough in his army to win the battle, he might as well make friends with his enemy. You see, that he was teaching was critical thinking. Also, critical thinking is being aware of your assets and your liabilities. So the man has to sit down and count the costs. You have to have accurate self-evaluation. See, a lot of times we don't even ask anybody how well we're doing. You got to stop sometimes and assess yourself. You know, when God created the world, at the end of each day, he said it was very good. He said it was good, actually. And then at the very end, he said it was very good. That means God had what is called process evaluation. He didn't wait until he was done, but each day he assessed his work and said it was good. And at the end of the project, he said it was very good. Now, sometimes you got to put up a suggestion box or have some mechanism by which you can have feedback and not be so sensitive that you can't allow other people to give you critical feedback on your performance. Critical thinking is being conscious of where you are strong and where your weaknesses are. If you're a business owner, one thing you got to learn is you hire your weaknesses. See, you got to get strong people around you who are strong in areas where you are weak. So it is very important, according to the master teacher, that you learn to think critically. Also, you want to think critical in the sense of being aware of public opinion. So a lot of times people say, I don't care what anybody says. That's not really a good thing when you want to become a peak performer. You must be conscious of what's happening in the public. Well, a lot of Christians, you know, they just know the Bible. They don't read any newspaper. They don't look at the news. They don't look at CNN. They think that it's not a good thing. But public opinion is important. Jesus said, well, the man is going to figure out, what will people say if I don't win? So public opinion is important. Critical thinking does not speculate. It deals with the facts. You've got to be brutally honest. You have to be intellectually honest. You must look at the information. Sometimes someone might give you some kind of critical evaluation and you might tell yourself, well, this is a bit insulting. This is a put down. And you do not wish to deal with the facts at hand. If you are going to become a peak performer, you must never deal with things as you would like them to be, but you must deal with them as they are. Think critically.